Welcome back to Wheels of Luxury. I am going to ask you a question that millions of car buyers are getting completely wrong right now in 2026. Should you buy or lease your next car? Now, before you say you already know the answer, I want you to hear me out because dealerships will never tell you the full truth about this. Financial advisors only give you half the picture, and most YouTube videos just scratch the surface. Today, on Wheels of Luxury, we are going to break this down in a way that actually makes sense. Real numbers, real scenarios, real talk. By the end of this video, you will know exactly which option is right for you and your wallet. So stay with me because this could save you thousands of dollars. And if you are new here, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell right now. We cover everything from budget buys to high-end exotics every single week right here on Wheels of Luxury. First, let us talk about where we are right now. The average new car price in the United States in 2026 is sitting at around $50,000. Let that sink in. $50,000 for an average car. And the average monthly car payment for a new vehicle is over $750 a month. That is $9,000 a year just in car payments alone. And that does not even include insurance, gas, or maintenance. Interest rates have been higher than normal, and while the Federal Reserve has made some cuts, those savings have not fully reached auto loan borrowers yet. The result is that millions of people right now are being squeezed between high car prices and expensive borrowing costs. So, the decision of whether to buy or lease has never been more important, and the stakes have never been higher. Let us start with leasing, because this is where the most confusion happens. When you lease a car, you are not buying it. You are essentially renting it for a fixed period of time, usually 24 to 36 months. What you're actually paying for is the depreciation. That means the difference between what the car is worth today and what it will be worth when you hand it back. Here's a simple example. Say you lease a car worth $40,000. The leasing company predicts it will be worth $26,000 in 3 years. Your monthly payments cover that $14,000 difference, plus an interest charge called the money factor, plus taxes and fees. Because you're only paying for a portion of the car's value, your monthly payments are significantly lower than if you were buying. In fact, for the same car, your monthly lease payment could be hundreds of dollars less than a loan payment. At the end of the lease term, you simply hand the car back and walk away. Or, in some cases, you can choose to buy it at a preset price called the residual value. Sounds great, right? Let us keep going. When you buy a car, either with cash or a loan, you are paying for the entire vehicle. If you finance it, you take out a loan for the full negotiated price minus any down payment, and you pay it back over typically 60 to 72 months with interest. Once that loan is paid off, the car is 100% yours. No more payments, no mileage limits, no restrictions. You can drive it, modify it, sell it, trade it, or keep it for 20 years if you want. That is a level of freedom that leasing simply cannot match. Now, let us get into the numbers, because this is where things get really interesting. Let us use a real-world example with a 2026 Toyota RAV4, starting at around $39,900. This is a real car that real people are buying and leasing right now. If you lease this RAV4 over 36 months, your monthly payment could be somewhere around $450 to $500 per month, depending on your credit and the deal you get. At the end of 3 years, you have paid roughly $16,000 to $18,000 total, and you hand the car back. You own nothing. Now, if you buy the same RAV4 with a 20% down payment of around $8,000 and finance the rest over 60 months at current interest rates around 7%, your monthly payment would be around $620 to $650 per month. Over those same 3 years, you have paid roughly $23,000 to $24,000. That is more than the lease. But here is the critical part the dealerships do not talk about. After 3 years of buying, the RAV4 is still worth approximately $27,000 to $28,000 on the used market because Toyota holds its value extremely well. So your net cost after 3 years is actually far lower than it looks when you account for the asset you still own. Over 6 years, the buying advantage becomes even more dramatic. After your loan is paid off around year 5, you own a car free and clear worth potentially $15,000 to $18,000, and you have zero monthly payments. The lease customer has been paying every single month for those same 6 years and still owns nothing. Long story short, two back-to-back 3-year leases will almost always cost you thousands more than buying the same car and keeping it over 6 years. The 5 things dealers never tell you about leasing. All right, here are the secrets the dealership does not want you to know. Secret number 1, the money factor is negotiable. Most people do not know this. The money factor is basically the interest rate on your lease. Dealers will often mark it up from the base rate set by the manufacturer. You can negotiate it down. If a dealer tells you the money factor is not negotiable, walk away. Secret number 2, never put a large down payment on a lease. Here's why. If your car gets totaled or stolen in the first few months, the insurance pays the leasing company. Your down payment is gone, and you do not get it back. Gap insurance does not cover down payments on leases. Always put 0 down or as little as possible. Secret number 3, mileage penalties add up fast. Most leases come with 10,000 to 15,000 miles per year. In 2026, the average American drives around 12,000 miles a year. But if your lifestyle changes, if you change jobs or move, going over your mileage limit can cost you 15 to 50 cents per extra mile. On a 2-year-old lease with 30,000 extra miles, that's a bill of $4,500 to $15,000 just for extra mileage. Secret number 4, wear and tear charges are real. Scratches, dings, stained seats, worn tires. At the end of your lease, the dealer will inspect the car inch by inch. Any damage beyond what they call normal wear and tear gets charged to you. Sometimes people hand a car back and get hit with a bill for thousands of dollars they were not expecting. Secret number 5, leasing traps you in a payment cycle forever. If you lease one car after another, you'll be making car payments for the rest of your life, and you'll never build any equity. That's exactly what dealerships and finance companies want. Who should lease and who should buy? Now here's the honest part. Leasing is not always the wrong choice. It depends entirely on your situation. Let me give you the simple framework. You should lease if you drive under 12,000 miles per year. You should lease if you love having the newest technology every 2 to 3 years. You should lease if you want lower monthly payments and you are not planning to keep the car long term. You should lease if you are a business owner, because lease payments can often be written off as a business expense more easily than loan payments. You should buy if you drive more than 15,000 miles per year. You should buy if you plan to keep the car for more than 5 years. You should buy if you want to build equity and eventually have 0 monthly payments. You should buy if you like to customize or modify your vehicle. And you should buy if you want total freedom with no restrictions. Here's the simplest rule of thumb. If you keep asking yourself whether you can afford the monthly payment, you are thinking about this wrong. The real question is, what is the total cost of ownership over 5 to 7 years? That is the number that actually matters. The special case of electric vehicles in 2026. This one is important. If you are thinking about an electric vehicle, the lease versus buy decision gets more complicated. Electric vehicles depreciate faster than traditional cars right now because the technology is improving so quickly. A brand new EV today could be significantly less valuable in 3 years when a newer, better version comes out. For this reason, leasing an EV can actually make a lot of sense for people who want to stay current with the latest electric technology without getting stuck with a car that has lost significant value. However, there is important news for 2026. The federal EV tax credit of $7,500 that used to be built into many lease deals expired in September of 2025. This means many EV leases in 2026 no longer carry that built-in savings, so EV lease deals are not as attractive as they were 1 or 2 years ago. If you are buying an EV, look into state-level incentives and utility rebates, which may still be available in your area. The credit score factor nobody mentions. Here is something that very few people talk about. Your credit score matters more for leasing than it does for buying. Leasing companies make money on the money factor, which is their interest rate markup. The better your credit, the lower your money factor, the lower your payment. If your credit score is above 720, you will likely get Tier 1 rates, which are the best available. If your credit score is between 680 and 719, you get Tier 2 rates, which are noticeably higher. The low 680 and you are in Tier 3 or worse, and your lease payment could be surprisingly expensive. For buying, lenders also charge more for lower credit scores, but the impact is slightly less dramatic than it is with leasing. The lesson here is simple. Know your credit score before you walk into any dealership. Check it for free online before you go. It gives you power in the negotiation. The verdict. What should you do in 2026? All right, here is the straight answer that nobody gives you. For most people, in most situations, buying is the better long-term financial decision. Consumer Reports says it clearly. Two back-to-back 3-year leases will cost you thousands more than buying the same car and owning it for 6 years. And the savings grow even more the longer you keep a purchased vehicle. However, leasing is a smart move in specific situations. If you want a luxury car you cannot otherwise afford and you keep your mileage low, leasing gets you into that car at a manageable payment. If you are a business owner and can deduct the payments, leasing works in your favor. And if you love having a new car every 2 to 3 years and do not mind paying for that lifestyle, leasing is the honest answer for you. The wrong approach is to be tricked into a lease just because the monthly payment looks lower. A lower payment is not the same as a better deal. Always calculate the total cost over the full ownership period. And if you are genuinely not sure which one to choose, the safest advice is to buy. Buying gives you flexibility to sell, trade, or keep the car on your terms at any point. Leasing locks you into a contract that's expensive to exit early. So that is the truth about buying versus leasing a car in 2026 that nobody tells you. Now you know what the dealership knows and you can walk in with confidence. Which one are you going to choose? Are you a buyer or a leaser? Drop it in the comments right now. I read every single one and I would love to know what you are thinking. And if this video helped you, please do me a massive favor. Hit that like button because it helps more people find this content and make better car decisions. Subscribe to Wheels of Luxury if you are not already with us, and share this video with someone you know who is about to buy or lease a car. You might just save them a serious amount of money. We have got more great content coming your way. I will see you in the next one. Drive smart and drive safe.